Ed Dupas here, back to do another song from Tennessee Night after all this time. I guess I let it lapse a little bit. Doing acoustic versions and talking about each one of the songs on the record was my goal for the year, and I took a little break from that. There were reasons. Life always has reasons. One of which was just playing a lot and doing a lot of music, and I wanted to take a little break. But the other is that I had mixed tracks from my release show in May at Johnny's Speakeasy and had video from that I wanted to put out. And so I found the opportunities to do that. And after putting out a few of those, I decided it was time to circle around and visit another song from Tennessee Night. There's just a few left, two or three, I don't know, but I know one of them is a song called Heading Home Again, which is a song it's one of my favorites on the record. It's one of my favorites because of the way it feels. I judge music by how music feels. You know, the reason I didn't release a song till I was 42 was because, it wasn't because I wasn't writing. It was because when I asked myself, would you listen to this if it wasn't you? The answer was no. And so that made it really easy. When the songs changed, or the quality of them, or the way I was writing them changed, and I started liking the result more, well, then it was time to start sharing them with people, I suppose. And following that logic to its conclusion, the way Heading Home Again feels to me is as good as any song I've written. For me, that doesn't mean that it's anyone's favorite off the record. I don't think it is. But on my better days, the way I feel when I'm having a good day and I got a smile on my face and I'm tending to laugh a little bit instead of looking dour or whatever I do, it feels a little like heading home again. You know, that's that train beat, that vibe, just the feeling of the song. And so that's personally endeared to me. The song came. It was written in that Tennessee cabin I talk about, where 4 songs were written. The exception of those 4 songs being written is Heading Home Again, in that there was a fragment of an idea that came to that cabin with me. There were 2 fragments, one Heading Home Again and one Tennessee Night. Tennessee Night, ironically, didn't get touched in the cabin. It didn't get finished until 2 days before the record bearing its name was tracked. But Heading Home Again, I did have a fragment, and that came from a girl I used to date, being at a family party on her dad's big piece of land west of town, and every 2 years family would come around from the whole country basically and descend on that piece of land for this biannual get together. Biannual? Is it biannual? Is biannual twice a year or once every 2 years? It was once every 2 years. I digress. And there was an aunt who would sit on the back porch smoking, and she had a loud New York accent, but she was kind of endearing to me. And I'd sit out there and listen to them talk, and she mentioned Leesburg, the town in Florida. I guess they had family there. And it piqued my interest. There was something about that word. That's sometimes how songs come to me. A word or a phrase just seems charged. I'd never been there, but I started asking her questions and taking some notes, and she thought that was really funny. But she told me things like white corn is growing around the area. That's something that made its way into the song. Later in the cabin, the song went from that zygote, and it took a direction that was reflective of where I was at that time in my life, and where I continue to be, or continue to invest in this type of energy. But this was an energy I felt growing at this time in my life, especially in that strange cabin. And that was a change in orientation, a change in direction. You know, the song and the lyrics of the song, it probably seems pretty light, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know how to judge. But for me, those lines in there, it ain't the money, it ain't the cars, it ain't the lovers, it ain't the bars. It's getting at this idea that I'd gone far enough in my life and tried my hand at all these different things we tend to place value in, and finding that they weren't making me happy. But somehow there was something growing at that time in my life that did feel like it offered something real. And I could feel it to the point where I was beginning to orient myself in that direction. And something in me sensed that was a very positive thing. It felt like going home again. And in my personal take on things, and that's all it is that just like the song says, that journey is one that never ends, and that we're engaged in it whether we want to be or not. Some actively, most not. And I guess that was a time in my life where it was becoming a more active part of my life. And I guess the song to me really embodies that turning in orientation. Hence the name, Heading Home Again. Out on this highway, it's always the same. You drive all night till the sun shows its face. Still a long way to go, but I'm heading home again. On a farm out of Leesburg, on a dirt road where I used to run in the white corn rows. Still a long way to go, but I'm heading home again. Heading home again. Now I've been gone too long, my friend, and this road it never ends. But I'm heading home again. Now you run all day and you run all night, and if you don't work hard, you run all your life. Yeah, the years will pass you by, leaving you without a friend. 'Cause it ain't the money, it ain't the cars, it ain't the lovers, and it ain't the bars. There ain't no feeling like heading home again. Heading home again. I've been gone too long, my friend, and this road it never ends. But I'm heading home again. Now we tell ourselves all about the lives that we lead. We tell ourselves we're standing on our own 2 feet. But in the end, it's all that we can do to wash away the lines between me and you. Yeah, let's wash away the lines between me and you. 'Cause on this highway it's always the same. You drive all night till the sun shows its face. Still a long way to go, but I'm heading home again. Still a long way to go, but I'm heading home again. Still a long way to go, but I'm heading home.